You are watching this because they moved on faster than should have been possible. The relationship ends, or unravels, or gets quietly dismantled by their distance. And before the wound has even closed, there is someone new. A new presence in their life. A new person receiving the version of them you spent months or years trying to reach. And the question that lives underneath your ribs, the one you have not said out loud yet, was any of it real? Did I mean nothing? How do you replace something real that quickly? Here is what I need you to understand before anything else. They did not replace you. They replaced the feeling of vulnerability you created in them. And those two things are not remotely the same. Stay with me. Because what actually happened beneath the surface of their fast exit and their faster replacement is something that will change how you see this entire situation. If this kind of content speaks to something you are going through, subscribe. Every week we go deep into the psychology of avoidant attachment, breakups, and what it actually takes to reclaim yourself after loving someone who could not stay. When the avoidant moves on quickly, the first thing their nervous system experiences is not happiness, it is relief. And that distinction matters more than most people ever realize. Their amygdala, the part of the brain that processes threat, had been running on elevated alert throughout the depth of your relationship. Not because you were dangerous, because genuine intimacy is, to the avoidant nervous system, the most threatening landscape in existence. Being truly known, being truly needed, being the person someone else organizes their heart around. That level of emotional exposure keeps the avoidant's stress response in a slow, constant simmer. Cortisol elevated, defenses active. The deactivating strategies running quietly in the background, minimizing the relationship, finding fault, focusing on incompatibilities, engineering distance, all of it working together to manage the unbearable feeling of being close to someone who might eventually see them completely. And when you are gone, that simmer stops. The nervous system exhales, and in that exhale, they find someone new, someone lighter, someone who has not yet seen behind the walls, someone whose presence carries none of the accumulated weight of genuine knowing. They tell themselves, this is better. This is what I needed. This is what the right thing feels like. But here is what most people do not realize about that story. It was not built on truth. It was built on relief, and relief is not the same as rightness. It is simply the temporary absence of pressure. The new person did not win something real. They inherited the vacancy left by your removal, and a vacancy is not the same as a choice. But the relief has a timeline, and it is shorter than they expected, because the new connection, chosen precisely for its lightness, its safety, its emotional manageability, cannot produce what your relationship was beginning to build. Your relationship, for all its difficulty, was activating the avoidance attachment system at a genuine depth. The dopamine reward the brain associated with you was not shallow. It was layered, built through time, through conflict and repair, through the specific and irreplaceable experience of being seen by someone who chose to stay, even when staying was hard. That kind of neurochemical imprint does not transfer. It does not copy across to a new person simply because that person is available and willing and uncomplicated. The brain knows the difference between depth and surface, between a connection that required something real and one that was selected precisely because it required nothing at all. And so the new relationship begins producing a quiet but persistent deficit signal. Something is missing. The conversations reach a certain level and stop. The intimacy builds to a particular point, and then a ceiling, invisible, unexplained, present. The avoidant cannot name what is absent. They may not even consciously recognize the deficit, but the nervous system registers it with a clarity that no amount of distraction can fully suppress. They traded the ocean for a puddle, and for a while the puddle felt like peace, but you cannot swim in a puddle. And somewhere beneath the performance of contentment, the body remembers what it felt like to be in deep water. And this is where it gets interesting. Because the thing they forgot, the one thing no fast replacement could account for, is you as a standard. Not a standard you imposed deliberately. Not a benchmark you constructed to make them feel lacking, but the natural, unavoidable standard that forms when someone loves you with genuine depth, patience, and presence over time. You became their internal reference point without either of you choosing it. This is retroactive idealization arriving at full force. When the avoidance brain begins to process the real weight of your absence, it does not measure the relationship accurately. It does not hold the difficult moments alongside the beautiful ones in fair proportion. It strips the difficulty away entirely and reconstructs only the warmth, the safety, the specific and unrepeatable quality of being loved the way you love them. And it holds that reconstruction up against everything the new person offers. The comparison is not fair. It was never going to be fair. You had months or years of shared architecture, fights that built understanding, silences that built trust, moments where something real passed between you that neither of you fully had words for. The new person has weeks, maybe a few months of careful surface level engagement, but the avoidance nervous system does not grade on that curve. It simply registers, this does not feel the same. This does not reach the same places. Something that existed before does not exist here. The Zeigarnik effect locks in completely at this stage. The unfinished loop, what was never resolved between you, the depth that was building and then was severed without a clean ending, the mind circles it, returns to it at unexpected moments, in the middle of a conversation with the new person that goes nowhere meaningful, in the silence after a moment that should have felt like something and did not. They are physically present in the new relationship. But psychologically, at the level of nervous system memory, they are still circling you. You became a ghost in the rooms they moved into to escape you. You might be thinking, but they seem genuinely happy. They look like they have completely moved on. Maybe I am just telling myself a story. Let me explain what you are actually observing. The performance of happiness and the experience of happiness are not the same thing. And the avoidant, who has spent a lifetime becoming expert at emotional performance, at projecting composure, at maintaining the appearance of self-sufficiency and ease, is exceptionally skilled at constructing a visible narrative that does not reflect the internal one. The posts are curated. The public ease is maintained with a consistency that is, if you look at it with clear eyes, slightly too deliberate, slightly too aware of being observed. This is not confidence. This is architecture, a structure built outward-facing, designed to communicate a specific story to a specific audience. And the primary audience was never the new person. It was you. The performance was assembled for the one witness whose perception still, despite everything, carried weight in their internal world. When they registered that you might genuinely no longer be watching, that your healing was real, that your life was moving without them in it, the performance lost its most important reason for existing. What remained was the quiet, the new relationship in its actual unperformed state, the ceiling that appears whenever real depth is required, the moments that should mean something and arrive flat. And in that quiet, the thing they forgot returns to them with a clarity they were not prepared for. Here is what they forgot. They forgot that you were not just a person they were with. You were evidence, evidence that they were capable of something genuine, that behind the walls, behind the deactivating strategies, and the carefully maintained emotional distance, there was a person who could be loved deeply, and who could, in their most unguarded moments, begin to offer something real in return. That evidence does not transfer to the next relationship. It does not get carried over automatically. It was specific, built in the particular dynamic of what you two created together, in the moments the armor slipped, in the warmth that existed between you before fear, convinced them that warmth was a threat. The new person cannot produce that evidence, not because they are lacking, but because evidence of that kind is not generated by a new connection. It is generated by the willingness to stay present through the fear of being known. And the avoidant ran before that willingness had time to take root. So they are left in a relationship that feels safe but proves nothing, that is comfortable but confirms nothing, that offers proximity without the one thing the nervous system was actually searching for, the proof that they are worth staying for. They held a diamond, called it too heavy, set it down, and now they are holding something, smooth and weightless, and wondering why it does not catch the light the same way. It was not that you were too much, it was that what you offered required them to become more than they were ready to be. You are not here to be someone's trial run, someone's placeholder, someone they practiced almost loving before they found the courage to do it properly with someone else. You are here to be chosen, fully, presently, without the emergency exit built into the foundation. The fast replacement was never a verdict on your value. It was a symptom of their fear. Fear that if they slowed down long enough to feel the full weight of what they were walking away from, they would not have the strength to keep walking. They were not wrong to fear it, because what they walked away from was real and rare, and the kind of thing that does not simply reappear in the next available connection. You were never replaceable. You were the proof that they could be loved, and they were not. Ready to believe they deserved it. If this reached something true inside you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, your healing does not begin when they realize what they lost. It begins the moment you stop making their inability to stay the measure of your worth. The thing they replaced you with could never be what you were. And somewhere in the quiet they chose, in the ceiling they keep hitting, in the ghost that haunts the rooms of their new life, they already know it.